Welcome to another one of my EV ramblings video. Today I'm going to talk about something that some people find very controversial, and it's in regards to electromagnetic radiation. If you go and do like some internet searches for it, you're going to find all kinds of websites that say it's very harmful to you. There's lots of suggestions, like if you're pregnant, to avoid electromagnetic radiation, and there's even companies that can come and test your house for this type of radiation because they're saying it can cause all kinds of health effects. So I have actually experienced this with like this general rule of thought from some people in the public when I've been out with my electric vehicles. And I did a research, couldn't find really much about it, if people had actually tested newer electric vehicles to see if they actually do produce a lot more electromagnetic radiation than some of the older combustion-only vehicles or modern combustion-only vehicles. So understand that what we're talking about is actually it's considered by a lot of people as just total garbage, like you shouldn't even be looking into it. But I went on Amazon and actually found an electromagnetic radiation tester. And it seems like there's quite a few YouTube videos of people using this to test radiation around their house. And understand that the word radiation is a very polarizing thing to say. It just kind of gives it a more scarier thing. So essentially how this thing works is you put a battery in it, and yes, I know it does require electricity to run, and turn it on. So here, let's just do that. And the unit boots up. And essentially this is advertised as having two functions. The beeping tells us that there's a harmful, so I'm just going to turn this beep off for a moment. Okay. So the top field measures an electric field, and the bottom area here measures magnetic field. And I actually don't know what the unit of measurements are. I couldn't find anything in the manual to say, okay, like what do you call these? But the electric field I never really could get. I've done some initial testing on this and I couldn't actually get it to come up with anything, but the magnetic field is almost always saying there's harmful magnetic fields around me. And I'm just going to call this electromagnetic radiation because that's what this tester calls it. But okay, so when I was trying to figure out what the units of measurement are, though, I went into this manual and I found some of the health claims that they say that this thing, that electromagnetic radiation can cause. So I found them interesting. So the first one is being one of the causes of leukemia for children. It can cause cancer and accelerate proliferation of cancer cells. Can cause direct harm to human genital system, nervous system, and immune system. Can cause mental disabilities of children and diminution of vision, affect tissue development and skeletal development of children. Can affect the hematopoietic functions of livers and even cause emotioretinae. And it's one of the main causes of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And it generally has a bad influence on human visual system. They're also saying that moreover, strong electromagnetic radiation may influence and destroy original bioelectric current and biomagnetic field in human body and cause abnormality of the original electromagnetic field in human body. The elderly, children, and the pregnant are susceptible to electromagnetic radiation. So those claims, those are very huge claims, and if you believe them, they're extremely worrisome, because in my household, there's an LED lamp above me, there's a fish tank behind me, but this is just a regular house, it's over 100 years old. There's a constant warning of magnetic field radiation. So if you do believe that this is a thing, you should probably be pretty scared. But anyway, so what I'm going to do though, with this, I decided that I need to figure out if there's a difference between electric vehicles and combustion vehicles. So I'm going to be borrowing one of my friend's combustion cars, the newer Kia SUV, it's a Sportage or something, and I'm going to compare the readings from that car to my Chevrolet Volt, it's a 2011, and my 2012 Nissan Leaf, just to see if there's real proof that there's going to be some massive difference, that by going to an electric vehicle you're going to be exposing yourself to far more electromagnetic radiation than what you would in a regular combustion vehicle. So I'm going to put all the videos together, get the information, see what the stats say, and then we'll meet back here at the end of the video and talk about what those results were. Enjoy.
Okay, everybody, I'm outside, and I need to establish a baseline before I get my first car. I'm going to be parking the car outside here, and I'm just going to walk by it right now with this meter to see what we show in terms of electromagnetic field radiation. So we're already getting quite the warning. I see 6 point something, 7.5, which is, there's power lines above me. I think there is a power line that goes down underground around here as well that I know of. So I'm going to set this to actually show the largest value. 4.5. And the reason for this is when the car's here, I'm wondering if it has an electromagnetic field on its own. Yeah, so it looks like 4.5 is about as high as we get here. 5, 6, 7, here we go. So just sitting here, sorry, camera's turned around a little bit. Just sitting here, 7.59. So which is obviously, it's showing up as in harmful mode there. So okay, we have our baseline. Now let's get a vehicle in here and let's compare. All right, okay, I'm here with my friend's 2017 Kia Sportage, and we're going to see if there's any higher numbers we see from the electromagnetic radiation just walking around the car when it's here. So I'm going to put it on to show the highest number. So, actually that is a little bit higher than what we had seen environmentally before, which is a bit surprising, but the car has a big battery in it and it was recently turned off. That's just in case that was an anomaly that we didn't see before. I'm going to put it to show active electromagnetic radiation, and yeah, we're seeing well what we saw before. So I don't think there's I can't see this car creating any kind of electromagnetic field or radiation while it's dormant. So okay, we're going to move into the car, and we're just going to see like at the spot and see if there's any change, see if there's any shielding going on. So let's go in. All right, okay, we're in the vehicle now, and the vehicle's turned off. This is the 2017 Kia Sportage. And I'm just trying to see what environmentally like it's in the car. And I'm seeing like 2 point whatever electromagnetic field. As I go to the back, it's basically non-existent. So within this vehicle, you actually are getting shielded from what's going on outside. So I'm going to put this, just put this in the cup holder, I guess, like somewhere middle of the car. And let's turn this on. Okay. So now that the car's on, are we seeing anything different? No. Okay, so I'm going to do a driving loop. I'm going to do once with active, and then once with it showing maximum value. Alright. I don't want to mess up my friend's settings. I haven't driven a combustion-only car in quite some time. Wow, that's very far away. Okay, so we have a constant harmful reading, but it's very low. I'm seeing like a 7. Okay, so there is an electrical substation up here, and I'm going to take the same route with my Chevrolet Volt and my Nissan Leaf. And we're going to go by that electrical substation, and I'm probably also going to take this route on my bicycle to see what the difference is, because we've already just determined that this car does work as like a shield to know what you would expect from electromagnetic radiation just in the general outside, like with power lines and things like that. And if you were kind of afraid of electromagnetic radiation, having one of these meters would probably terrify you, because it is constantly like just beeping at you saying that there's harmful stuff. I'm seeing large numbers here. Alright, so we're about to go past the electrical substation. Seeing some pretty high numbers. Now, is there any correlation with me accelerating? Yeah, maybe. Hard to say. But it is just a non-stop beep fest going on here. Okay, actually, I'm going to change my plan a bit. I'm going to put this into... Oops. I'm going to put this to show maximum value, and now I'm going to retrace my steps. Let's do that instead. So I'm going to do a loop here. You know, this vehicle, it's nice. Like, it is very nice, but, oh man, just whatever the transmission is, or like going just to combustion only from driving pure electric is bloody painful in terms of response. Like how quickly the vehicle picks up and responds to you wanting to make it go. Pretty wild. Alright. So we've only hit a maximum of 4.3 on the electromagnetic radiation scale. We had hit 7 point something or 8 when we were outside without a vehicle running. And this monitor does beep when it's detecting that there is harmful electromagnetic radiation in the area. Oh, that beeping is starting to drive me insane. Whoa, we saw 11.99. That seems awfully high. Once again, we're just retracing our steps now. These are the same steps that we took when we drove just out here. We're just going back now, and we're having it show a maximum level. So what was your highest exposure? So there are a couple times like when there is nothing. Okay, so our maximum is still 11.99. Oop. 11.99. Okay, I'm not seeing anything higher than that. Okay, and then we're back to where we started. Okay, so I'm going to put this on average now. So we're showing an average of 1, 1.4, 1.5. It's kind of jumping 1 to 1.4. And we're going to turn this off. Huh. And now it's at 0. So, okay. Really surprised, actually. So when the car was, after, like, when it was running and you're sitting there idle, it was definitely, the car is generating electromagnetic field radiation, for sure, like a continuous amount. And as soon as I turned it off and the car shut down, it just dropped and went to 0. So I think this proves that this meter does work, and in terms of measuring the electromagnetic fields, and that a combustion vehicle does create quite the electromagnetic radiation field. But nothing, like you're not seeing anything as high as you would outside of the car right now. If I go outside the car, this would jump. So we are being shielded right now. Surprising. Okay, well, I think next step now is to take out my two EVs, the Chevy Volt and the Nissan Leaf, and see what happens. See if the numbers are higher or lower. All right, let's go. Okay, my friend took his vehicle back, and we're now going to do my 2011 Chevrolet Volt. We're going to do a similar thing to do 2 walks around here to see what the electromagnetic radiation looks like. Already I'm just seeing exactly the same things that we saw before. Or like, I'm not seeing anything higher anyways. So let's put this on, show the highest amount. .04. Okay, so that's as expected. There's no higher electromagnetic radiation just with the car sitting here. Like, there's a big pack of batteries in this vehicle, electric motors. They're not running, but the batteries, I guess, are kind of active in a way. So no difference. So let's go into the car and see what we find there. All right, I'm in my 2011 Chevy Volt now. The car is off right now, and we're showing basically 0 or nothing. Oh, kind of went up. It's going around for the most part. For the most part, the car is sitting as safe as 0 right now. I'm not sure that's going to stay there, but let's turn it on and see in terms of electromagnetic radiation. So there's a high jump to 5, 8, and then 0. So whenever you turn on the Volt, it does some kind of weird diagnostic thing. You could hear it, like, I don't know, you can even feel it in the pedal. It's almost like it's maybe cycling some of the coolant or something, but it does some kind of thing, and then it goes away, and now we're showing 0. So we're showing 0, basically 0 right now, and that's what we saw in the Kia Sportage. Now let's actually drive the vehicle. We're going to do the exact same route. Make sure I don't run over anything. I have the car in L mode, which would do regeneration. And at the moment, well, I wasn't actively looking at the other one because I need to look at where I'm driving. I'll have to do a little bit of a sit down and talk about the results after I've looked at them on the computer. But, okay, let's do some acceleration. It seems to be under heavy acceleration that this goes up higher, but it's just regular, like, kind of cruising is the same or a little bit lower than the Sportage. Okay, so let's accelerate here a bit. Just a steady acceleration. And we're seeing pretty high numbers. That's not to say that the environment isn't affecting it. But there's definitely, I think, a correlation with me putting the accelerator down and this number going up a lot higher. Whoa, 13. So I don't believe that electromagnetic radiation is an issue. Like, I don't have any fear for my personal health right now. Accelerate. Number goes up. Brake. Oh, number's still high. We're in an industrial area here. Okay, up at the stop sign. Oh, you can't see it. I'm coming up to a stop sign. And this is where I'm going to switch to show maximum value. So we've kind of shown averages. Now let's switch to maximum. I'm probably going to be driving a little bit more aggressive than I was before, because the other car wasn't my car, and I'm not going to accelerate hard or anything like that. We have a maximum of 12.82, which is, I think that's already much higher than what we saw in the Sportage. Okay, let's take this. I can just go normal, regular cruising speed here. .82 is still showing as our maximum. We haven't gotten any higher than that. We're going past the electrical substation right now. Okay, do some hard acceleration. 17.98. Huh. That can't be good, can it? Alright. So the Volt as well is an interesting system in that it has 2 electric motors compared to like a Nissan Leaf, which just has 1. And the reason for having 2, for the most part, is when the gas generator is running, it's turning one of the smaller electric motor to make the electricity, and then the bigger electric motor is pushing the wheels. But it can combine both electric motors as well. So as we saw, well, as we're driving though, like we're hearing kind of continuous beeps, which is what we saw with the combustion-only vehicle. We're basically just about at our destination again, where we start our start point and end point. All right, so we're here. So let's put the car in park. 17.98, that's pretty high. I'm gonna put this back to average. So we're showing average of 0.6. It's jumping 0.6 to 0.9, 0.7. Let's turn the car off. Jumped up to 2. And now it's down to 0. Like it's kind of jumping around low zeros, so I want to try something. What if I just stick this up? Yeah. We're already in the harmful 4. So definitely being in something like this, with it off, it is shielding you. But when it's running, there's definitely a field being generated. And I have to say, like, even without looking at, like, comparing the 2 results so far, the Chevrolet Volt definitely created a much higher electromagnetic radiation under heavy acceleration, under, like, basically if you put the accelerator down or you go to accelerate the car, you see numbers that are increased significantly over the combustion vehicle. All right, next is to test the Nissan Leaf. Okay, we're here with the final car I'm going to test for this. This is a 2012 Nissan Leaf. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to walk around a few times, try to just see what shows up here. Nothing unusual, really. And let's put it in maximum number. Yeah, 7.04. That's exactly what we saw before. So, no surprises here. All right. Yeah, so exactly as we expected. Car's off. Not really a big deal. Let's go inside the car and see what's different. Okay, we're in the car, and as we saw on the other ones, there's virtually no magnetic field right now. If I move this around the car, It's very low. There's the main battery connection down here. Okay. So let's turn the car on. Actually, that's so the heater's on pretty high, but okay, so the car's on now. And things have changed a little bit, but not a lot. I don't have a terribly easy place to put this in this car, so I think I'll just have to hold it. Alright, let's go on our same route. Heavy acceleration. You know, all things considered, it actually seems like there's significantly less magnetic field or electromagnetic radiation being detected in the car. Like way less than the Volt and less than the Kia. Like we're really not getting over 1 on this thing. Okay, well let's we're going by the electrical substation here. Accelerate hard. Yeah, that's pretty low. And this car is fun. I can see why so many people buy the Leaf. It is. It's a nutty little hatchback. Alright, we're going to switch it to show maximum now. This is, I have to say that I think this is going to be way less than the combustion vehicle. Right now our highest is 3.47 of whatever the measurement units are for this within the magnetic field category, which I was expecting the Leaf to be as high as the Volt or higher. Okay, so we've hit 10.49. then that was past the electrical substation back there, and we always hit a high number with other cars, and I accelerated hard with this car just as I did with the Volt. And I'm pretty sure the Kia was like 11 something. And I think it's quite possible that we're getting much less beeping in this than we got in either of the other cars. Like, don't get me wrong, it is still beeping a lot, but okay, we're almost at our stop. Okay, 10.49 is as high as we got. And I want to say the Volt hit 17, and I'm pretty sure the Kia hit 11. So once again, I'm going to have to look at the video and do a little final update in the end, but I'm pretty sure the Leaf beat the Kia. So an all-electric EV or vehicle has less continuous and peak electromagnetic radiation. But then the Volt, the Chevrolet Volt, which has a combustion motor, which it didn't use at all during the testing, still had, it might have had a little bit lower of running exposure, but it did have a much higher peak. Very odd. It could just be the shielding of this car. Perhaps they've done a much better job of separating the driver from it, but let's turn the car off. Oh, go to average, right. So our average sitting here is, it took a little while to get down. Like, we went to 0 a little bit faster, but I'm assuming that's just the car turning its circuits and systems off. Yeah, and then we're down into like a safe zone. Okay, well, I have to go upload all these videos, splice them together so you can see what I'm seeing on this monitor as well, and come up with a conclusion. So let's, I better get to that.
All right, so I've done all my drives. I've put all the videos together. You've just finished watching them. And I think there's some interesting things to be taken from this. And let's just talk about what we saw and the numbers we saw from this little device as well. By far, the Chevrolet Volt had the most electromagnetic, or I'm going to call it magnetic field from now on. I went to do some research, and I was curious why we really didn't see any of the electric field showing up and just the magnetic field. And I couldn't actually still figure out what the units of measurement were. But it would seem that, well, anytime you have electricity running through wires, you have a magnetic field being generated. And you also, in terms of electric motor, like, that's how it puts the electricity to use. It's by through magnetics and magnetic fields and things like that. So I think the Volt, because the battery pack runs right down the middle and it's elevated, like it's essentially in that center tunnel where I had this sensor on. And I'm assuming there's actually also some high voltage wires through there. That is why we saw the readings that we did on the Volt. But to put that in, so the Volt had the kind of the highest running magnetic field, plus it also had the maximum, like the highest number. It was just under 18 of whatever those unit measurements are. So that would be, like, in terms of magnetic fields, what we saw in the car, the Volt, the 2011 Volt, was the worst of the bunch. The one in the middle, would be actually the combustion vehicle, which is a big surprise. That was the 2017 Kia Sportage. And it had looking at, like, back at the video, it was a very, like, almost constant 1.5 of the magnetic field measurement that we were using, which, like, and it never really seemed to go below that. And of course it did spike, it did go up, and it spiked fairly high. Like, it was just under 12 of those units. And then the first, like the very best car out of the magnetic field exposure was the Nissan Leaf, like the 2012 Leaf. And that is a full battery electric vehicle. There's no combustion motor in it, and a huge battery pack in the floor of the car, but it is mounted quite low. So that car, like for a lot of the times, if you go back and look at the video, or just it was off. It wasn't really measuring harmful according to this magnetic fields. And its peak was 10, like it was less than 11. So the peak was less than the combustion only vehicle. So there's clearly differences between vehicles in terms of what type of magnetic field exposure you get. But what these tests show us, though, is that there isn't necessarily a correlation between the car being electric only and having that higher exposure. It is very possible that I could find a combustion only vehicle that might get much higher than the volt, and I might find in a battery electric vehicle EV that goes much lower than the Leaf. So I guess take this video for whatever you want. Like I would highly suggest not believing that this is going to be a health risk to you. It's non-ionizing. It's not like an X-ray or something, or a microwave or anything like that. It's just it's magnetic fields. So they're everywhere. And please, if you find this information a little bit useful, if you wanted me to test more vehicles, let me know in the comments. I think I'm going to probably take this little unit. I need to get some money, some use out of this thing. So I think any other electric vehicle I test from here on out, I'm probably going to just have this in here with me and just do some baseline measurements for like regular operating while you're driving it and see what cars get. So I guess thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my videos. I'm trying to increase the number of videos I'm doing and the quality. I'm upgrading my equipment, trying to work on my speech and my settings. And yeah, if you have any questions about electric vehicles or the market or just to me in general, write them in the comments. I'll be happy to reply. I could also reply through my video updates, which I'm doing now. So I'll pick some good ones and I'll answer them for you. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.